I'm at the local government IT conference here in Coffs Harbour, and I'm joined by Daniel Johns from MyCISO. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you, Nick. It's great to be here. Beautiful Coffs Harbour. There's plenty of people in the conference, and it's only like day one, so I'm excited.
I'm very keen to ask you some questions around MyCISO. It's a massively growing part of what council should be doing around what your tools can offer. But I'd love to get an understanding from you regarding, firstly, who is MyCISO?
Yep.
Why is it important? And what are some of the conversations you're having with governments and council departments?
MyCISO ultimately is a SaaS platform. Over the last 3 years since we came to market, we've been in rapid development, and I can say today we now have what we're referring to as a security OS. And the security OS essentially is bundling together a whole bunch of modules which all feed into your cyber practice. So the first product module is Assess, and Assess essentially allows you to choose a cybersecurity product framework and assess your maturity against the controls in the framework, produce a whole series of consultant-grade reports, and not just operational reports, but board reports as well, because we find that reporting up is one of the most difficult things to do for most organizations. Then we tack on it, we've got culture for cyber awareness training, educate your human firewall. We have our suppliers module, which does third-party risk assessment to assess your supply chain. And then we have a metrics module to measure how effective your program is. And finally, incident response incidents module, which allows you to run your incident response playbooks in the platform, and so you can execute on those in real time.
Wonderful. Now there are various frameworks like Essential 8 and NIST and ISO, but there's also differences between states on their frameworks. So how does MyCISO work with those with councils?
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, most cybersecurity frameworks ask for the same thing, that you assess yourself against a framework, that you have a risk management policy and framework, that you do third-party risk assessment, you do cyber awareness training, so essentially all the things that MyCISO does, but they just use different languages. So IS 18 in Queensland ask for all of that stuff. They have an order of preference. VPDSS in Victoria, same things, different language. NSW-CSP from New South Wales, same things, different language. So the beauty is that with MyCISO, you can use any one of those frameworks. They're all on the platform. We've got over 60 frameworks. You can choose whatever framework you like, assess yourself against that, and use that as part of your maturity journey. So you can see more than just that one point in time when the consultants come in and assess you. You now own that journey, and you can manage it day to day and see your improvements over time.
You talked about the human firewall. So that's typically the biggest risk is other people.
Maybe. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Heard, obviously, initially at the conference today, just day one, artificial intelligence is a big buzzword. So where are people in their cyber readiness to adopt AI, and what are you talking to customers about?
Yeah, it's a really hot subject right now. And we're working with a couple of local councils at the moment, specifically around this, and we've helped build out with them an AI management policy. So how will the council adopt AI? What are the rules around it? And making it quite easy. So I think one of the risks that people run when they create policies is they make them difficult to consume. Like, it needs to be human language. And so when we're creating policy for council, we make sure it's human-centric, that it points out what you can do and what you shouldn't do and why you shouldn't do it. So personally identifiable information, absolute no-no. It's entirely possible to use Gen AI without putting in PII. And I think by outright prohibiting AI is a fool's errand, because people are still going to use it. They'll find ways around it. They always do. So we set our councils up with a management policy that they can socialise with their staff, and we set them up with an AI tools register and a methodology for registering the tools. So the staff in the council can come to IT and say, hey, I want to use this tool. There's a really quick risk assessment process to say, what kind of tool is it? What does it do? How many people need access? What kind of data are you going to put into it? And they can then adopt those tools when it's deemed appropriate and keep it in a log.
Perfect. Data and governance around when you're bringing it into AI, that's a difficult subject which not every organization fully understands, hasn't got it structured, and is getting an awful lot of noise from an awful lot of places around, we've got to drive AI. So from a place of caution, what's your recommendations around data?
Okay, so protect your data from escaping, from leaking out into the internet is always a challenge, has always been a challenge. AI and generative AI is just another methodology that people can leak it out. And ultimately, people want to work smarter, not harder. And so if the tools are available there, then they're thinking, why not use them? And so they want to take the information they have, they need to get it, put it through a system to spit out a result quickly, right? So from that point of view, Gen AI is really, really attractive. If you make it accessible to your staff, but use common tools like data loss prevention, and most organizations, most local councils will be a Microsoft shop. DLP, or data loss prevention, is a very easy tool to turn on. If you've got access to it, you can open it, that's fine. But if I try and drag it into ChatGPT, it won't upload it. It forces it not to. So unfortunately, the data loss prevention methodologies really haven't changed that much. It just, there is another way of that data getting out there. So getting in front of it by having a good policy, a good management policy, and having a methodology to socialize with your staff as to how you should use AI.
Understanding what AI is, how to use it from a council-approved manner or an organization-approved manner to protect your data. Avoid shadow IT is going to be absolutely critical as people learn what AI is and how best they can do that, and assess their journey and why they should be adopted along the way.
You're right, Nick. There's some very common sense steps that you can take to move towards it. I think the challenge for a lot of organizations is time and the unknown. It's one of those subjects that you kind of avoid for as long as you can until you're like, okay, that's it. I actually can't do nothing about it anymore. I have to do something. So speak to other councils, speak to the organizations that are here at LGIT. We're surrounded by experts. So get a number of expert opinions and then try and implement it.
Daniel, thank you for joining me today, and all the best for MyCISO here at the conference.
Thank you, Nick.